Right, everyone. So welcome back. We are discussing the work of the Esimaje Foundation. With us this morning, we do have Chairman of the Foundation, Dr. David Toby, and we also have Director Valerie Wilson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, Ms. Wilson, let's begin our discussion about the foundation, because to some people, it may be something new to them. So just tell us about the work of your foundation.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us, Marlon. Good morning to all your viewers. And it's really a pleasure for us to be here to tell you about Esimaje Foundation. The foundation was actually started by Dr. David Toby and Dr. Oti Esimaje when they were working at the Port of Spain Hospital and saw young men coming in who were not having guidance, who were not actually, finding positive outcomes for their lives. And so they decided to try to intervene, to assist these young men in whatever ways were possible to create more responsible citizens, to help them to find career paths, etc. And that's how Esimaje Foundation came into being in 2006. It was formally registered and so on in 2008. So the foundation has grown over time, as you would expect, and we have been engaged with underserved young men, boys, throughout the North Trinidad, basically, Mova, Carenage, and really we're focusing a lot on East Port of Spain now. And in these programs, what we have really sought to do is to assist them through literacy and numeracy programs. We've assisted we have a young farmers program now that we're actually, we've put these hydroponic systems into a number of schools in East Port of Spain. And the young farmers are very enthusiastic, I can tell you, and we can talk some more about that. And we also have the mentorship program, which is a very important part of the program, the You Can Do It Too program. So we have mentors who really support the young men and boys through a mentorship program. And it's not a long-term program, of course. It's not a mentorship for a year or two. It's a long-term program. And we have examples of how that has been really successful.
Yeah. And Dr. Toby is sitting down here smiling all the way as you speak, Ms. Wilson. But Dr. Toby, I suspect that your foundation has touched maybe hundreds of thousands or maybe thousands of young people over the years since its inception.
Yes, we started small, and we've grown. When we started, we didn't even know what we were starting. It was just two of us, and then I think 3 or 4, all young doctors. It started from my ward, which was a trauma ward at Port of Spain General. So we used to see all these gunshots, these choppings, this, that. And young Dr. Esimaje, who was Nigerian, he told me he never used to see this in Lagos. Why is Trinidad like this? I said, well, what can we do? What are we going to do about it? So that's how the thing started. So, and it has grown. We didn't plan to grow. We didn't plan to do anything. We just wanted to start something. And we have started something. And it took off. And we started mentoring young boys and young fellows. And then we ourselves learned in the process. And we're still learning. And that is how we're doing it. And we've more or less concentrated now on East Port of Spain. We did Carenage too, but East Port of Spain, we've made it into a project, and we have what is called a pipeline. So that is what the main thing is. And we have programs in that pipeline to deal with young boys. Mainly, of course, young boys, because this is the elephant in the room. We're dealing with all the victims, but we're not dealing with the boys and the males. So we have programs where we want to start small, cradle, and then go to career. And in between that, so the schools in East Port of Spain mainly that we deal with, Nelson Street, Southeast, Russell Atapi, Malik, and we're dealing with these schools and trying to do different things with the boys, mentoring, counseling. Some need help, a lot need help. In Nelson Street, those who have failed SEA, we pick them up 12, 15 of them. We didn't do it this year, but for the 3 or 4 years before, anytime any one of them fails, we pick them up and get them special tutoring and so on. And they've always done well. Once you show young boys some interest, a lot of them, they come from homes where there's no real male, you know, and that is what we are trying to provide, a male around who will mentor, who will guide in the right way, of course. A lot of them have males who want to guide them in the other direction.
Mm-hmm. On a precipice.
That's right. And we are trying, and my thing is, even if we save one, we winning.
Yeah.
You know, we can't save the whole of East Port of Spain, but we're trying.
Ms. Wilson, how do young men, is it for young men alone?
So the program really focuses on young boys and young men. But for example, our Young Farmers Club, there are a lot of young women involved in the Young Farmers Club. We just had a leadership training on Sunday, actually. And these young people who are at schools where we have these farmers clubs actually came out on a Sunday morning, and both females and males, for the leadership training. So it really does focus more on the boys and young men. As Dr. Toby says, it's really about trying to bring our young boys and men into being responsible citizens, fathers, and so on, so that we can address what is really a fundamental problem.
But how does one enroll for the program?
So, in fact, persons reach out to us sometimes. You know, we've had that experience, but we're also involved, as he said, in a number of schools. So we actually have within those schools, for example, we would focus on some of the students within those schools to assist them with numeracy, literacy, the mentorship. And we also have reached out to community organizations to find persons who may need mentoring. So that has been part of what we've also done. So we've reached out in churches or wherever to find persons who may need mentoring within the East Port of Spain area or even outside of that as well. So that is really how we actually find young men or boys who are actually, a lot of them come from the schools, but also from outside of the schools.
Yeah, and Dr. Toby, are there programs available right now to young people?
Yes, we have different programs depending on what the problem is.
Yes.
And we use all the tools we have to try and help, because there are always problems, but there are also avenues that we can go down with the young boys. And as I say, some of them, the young boys in the primary school, like in Nelson Street, then you have the ones in secondary school. And that is where you have to catch them early, because once they go past the schools, it's very difficult to change behavior. Mm-hmm. But you can change behavior in primary school. Mm-hmm. And that's the easiest place to catch them. And I have to say catch them, because if we don't catch them, somebody else will catch them. Yeah. So
let's talk a little bit about, is there an office that people can contact, a phone number, social media, platform and so on?
Yes, we're actually on Facebook.
Yes.
The Esimaje Foundation. We also have a website, and there is a number that you can contact us on. I think you would have had the number.
Yes, so we'll give them the number.
Yes, if you can actually. And we actually are having a fundraiser coming up soon.
Yes.
One of the things that I do want to mention before we talk about that, though, is that we have really been reaching out to the corporate community to assist us in terms of not just financial support, but also mentors, because mentors who come from corporate organizations can really assist us in providing appropriate mentorship for the boys and young men. So I really want to say that, because I think it's really an important part. It's part of how we are trying to expand the mentorship program by having more mentors who can, mentor the young men.
Yeah. Just tell us about your fundraiser.
Yes, the fundraiser is coming up. It's really important for the work of the foundation. Every year, we've had this for about 7 years, I think.
7 years. Yeah.
And even during COVID, we actually had like just a online virtual kind of presentation. We have a dinner. It's a gala dinner that takes place at the Hyatt on the 5th of November. That's a Sunday, so it starts early in the evening with cocktails, and so we start by between 4 and 5 o'clock. People coming in, and then they have the cocktails, and then we have dinner by about 6:30. We plan to have the dinner. We have entertainment. I'm sure Dr. Toby will want to tell you about the entertainment. But we also have some really interesting stories from our mentees, and also, of course, persons who will be, speaking to encourage others to join us in that initiative.
Dr. Toby, we just have about 30 seconds, so tell us about the entertainment.
Well, we have Trisha Kelshall, Trisha Lee. We have Nigel Rojas. We have the Parent Queen, Alicia Jagsa. And we have very pretty people who will be coming, and you know.
That's a good way to describe it, Dr. Toby. So it's on November 5th.
Yes, so November 5th, Sunday, the 5th of November at the Hyatt Regency, and it's actually we're encouraging people. It's $1,000 contribution, but it is a contribution. We recognize that, and we really do appreciate. We've had a long-standing group of people who have continued to support us, and we really want to open it wider to others who can support us as we try to expand the programs and to assist the young men. We've had some really great success.
Yeah, where can we get tickets?
Well, you can get it online. You can get the tickets online. You can get it mainly online, or get them at my office or at the Esimaje office. And once you go to the foundation website, you can get them.
Dr. Toby, Ms. Wilson, it was a pleasure speaking with you all. We wish you all the best for your fundraiser.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much again. Okay, so we are going to another break. We do have this image for you. It's overlooking Boko Reef, and it's from Kay Ford. Good morning, Kay.